Hello, this is my Christmas message for you for the year 2021. A lot has been going on this year, so I thought I would write down some thoughts and reflections and share them with you. Humans naturally don't fight with each other. We can see this in children. Until they are so connected, they are curious about each other and the world around them. Curious to find out who they are and who the other one is. Interested in everyone and everything. And they ask questions, a lot of questions. And the best way to grow up to be strong and independent actually is to ask questions and to be allowed to ask questions. And to be allowed to understand that there are questions that have different answers. And that even we as adults do not have answers to some of the questions that they are asking. And it is only when a child is no longer allowed to ask questions anymore, and when it is told that only father and mother know the truth, and that others or the world around the child could be even bad and dangerous, and that it is better not to deal with this or that one because they have a different mindset. It is only then when the child starts to disconnect from their curiosity, to disconnect from their trust, and to disconnect from themselves. And it is then when the image of enemy is created, the enemy or the boogeyman, and the crazy and destructive idea that this enemy must be fought against at all cost. And this is how wars start. Only in that case, it's not the parents, but it's the governments who make us believe that this or that country, and obviously the people within, are our enemies. And we are not allowed to ask questions anymore. And if we do, we become traitors or conspiracy theorists. And slowly, the image of the enemy is growing within us, unconsciously. And it's enough to read about it in the mainstream media every now and then. And before you know, this new mindset is in your head and is part of you. And finally, when they call for war, all the soldiers are obediently walking in a row to kill other human beings who never meant to kill them, who have become victims of the same manipulating process. What we have seen in the last 2 years, especially in the last year, is exactly the same, only that the war happens within us and within our own countries and our own families. First, they have told us that the enemy is something invisible that surrounds us. And they have created insecurity, fear, and panic. Then they told us what to do with promises that have never been kept. They told us it is for our safety and health, which has never been the truth. And they came up with mandates that we had to obey. And they started to prohibit questions. Many of us obeyed and did not ask any questions, as they were used to from childhood. Your parents know better, your teacher knows better, your doctor knows better, your government knows better, and so on. Others were used to ask questions their whole life, and they continued asking. But they did not get answers. On the contrary, asking questions was forbidden. Asking questions was suspicious. Asking questions became a crime. And the people who continued asking became criminals and enemies, with the difference that the enemy was now in our own rows. I feel very sad with this whole situation, with this growing disconnection. We humans are not made for this. So there is one thing that I would like to say today. The ones who are doubting and ask questions are not enemies. They are not a threat. They are not criminals. They are simply asking legal questions that nobody seems to be willing to answer. They are asking these questions also for the ones who are not asking. Did you ever think about that the answers we might get one day would benefit everyone? Could even save lives of people, and especially of children? Did you ever think that one day this whole situation might collapse like a house of cards? Why are the ones who ask questions hated so much? Why are they shunned, shamed, prosecuted, and backstabbed? They are neighbors. They once were friends. They are part of your own family. For this Christmas, I wish that we can all overcome this mindset of disconnection and rejection. We are human beings. We all have fears and hopes. Connection starts with getting together and asking questions, with being ready to listen, really listen, and find answers together. So for this Christmas, I wish that you may open your hearts to each other. You might find ways of reconnecting, and that wonders may happen for all of you and within all of you. In the spirit of love and reconciliation, I'm wishing you a merry, peaceful Christmas 2021.